Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Open TV News. Peter Obi, importer, exporter, cocoa water. Now, in this particular interview with the Arise TV News, Peter Obi went ahead to flaunter our president and disregard his entity. Why is president just after his own stomach infrastructure? All he cares about is I want to eat, and never listen to the cries of the poor. When he was campaigning, everybody thought he's rich already and he has money. He's coming to work like the way he do in Lagos. But today is the other way around. I want you guys to watch this particular video of Peter Obi with the Arise TV News. We'll be right back to do some messages into it.
Charles, the first thing you do as a leader who inherited a difficult situation is to lead by example, and then start by your own style, by your behavior, your conduct, how you manage the resources. You cannot say that things are difficult when you're living in conspicuous consumption. The things you don't do. Nigeria today is a country with the highest amount of people without homes. Over 24 million. Yet, you're spending 20-something billion to build a house for one person. Mr. Charles, are you saying that a vice president of Nigeria cannot live in a 4-bedroom house? You live in the UK. 10 Downing Street is 3 rooms. That is an economy that is almost 10 times our economy today. And the Prime Minister lives in 3 rooms. So that's where you start. You start by living like somebody who is coming through difficulty, who is facing difficulty, who wants to change things. That's how we do it. You don't engage in what we've been doing, buying vehicles, partying and everything, as if things are normal. When you say there's difficulty, you need to deal with the issue of cutting the cost of governance. That's where you start. So you need to deal with the issue of massive corruption. That is showing that I am now, okay, things are bad. Just have served the system where I came in and found that things are bad. And we start by cutting the cost of governance.
So is that what you'd like to see him I mean, the first year is gone. You know, that's a fact. But he's now entering his second year. Or he has entered. What are the things that
you have to also show a clear plan. It is not enough to say, oh, we're going to go through problem. If we're going to go through problem, this is very simple. You enter a plane. There's a bad weather. There's going to be a turbulence. The pilot says, we're going to go through bad weather. It's going to take us maybe 1 hour, 2 hours because of this. And he follows it through. That is not the time. In that bad weather, everybody, even the crew, are asked to sit down. That's not time to start serving food and wine and everything when everything is up and down. That's why we're there. We're in turbulence and people are still dancing and everything. I always say what happened to the Titanic is what is happening in Nigeria. While the plane was going on, the people on the upper deck were busy dancing until the whole thing collapsed. That's what is happening now. We should change and do things rightly. We can change and manage corruption and everything and all that.
Now, immediately after this video went viral, the president, our president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, just acquired new private jet. Everybody was shouting, yay! But until we sat down again, because that time we were shouting, rejoicing, wow, oh, hey, oh, hey, we have new private jet. After the drink, when we drink Dog Clear, we come to ask ourselves, do we really need the private jet right now? What is the private jet for? I want you guys to watch this particular video of Arise TV News, how they discuss the impact of these private jets to the Nigerian economy. We'll be right back to do some messages to it.
After the visit in Lagos, President Tinubu arrived in South Africa on Tuesday to attend the inauguration of President Cyril Ramaphosa. His visit comes after the House of Representatives asked the federal government to purchase a new aircraft for the president and vice president. Many have criticized the proposal, including Peter Obi, who in series of tweets on Monday said that the proposal was unacceptable because it highlights the disconnect between the government and the people. Bayo Onanuga, the special advisor on information and strategy to the President Bola Tinubu, in response, berated Peter Obi over his comments, saying that the purchase of a new aircraft is the basic thing any sane government would do because the government cannot toy with the president's welfare. Onanuga spoke to Punch, adding, and I quote, "Does Peter Obi want the president dead? Is that his wish? Does he want him to continue moving around in a rickety plane and die like the VP of Malawi and Iran president? Let him tell us."
Okay. I'll talk because I want to say something.
Yes, the plane is not rickety, and I think, to be honest, I think it was insensitive for him to refer to the VP of Malawi when it's such a it's close enough to the time when this unfortunate incident happened. It wasn't the plane or the status of the plane that caused that crash. It was bad weather. I think it's also good to make that clarification so that it doesn't justify what should not be justifiable. Again, it just goes to show and deepen the fact that the political class are not in touch with the realities of Nigerians. What people want is access to basic necessities. And there you are justifying access to buying a new plane. If the plane is not serving the president and the vice president, let him fly commercial. Let him fly commercial like the president of Kenya, President William Ruto. Let him show that he understands the plight of the people and not be agitating for things that when people hear it, it's aggravating. It can make people upset. It is provocative for you to hear that people are hungry and people are waiting just for a meal or to feed their family, and what you are defending is the right to buy another plane because you're and using emotional blackmail to push your point. Now, I'd like very quickly just to talk about the first bit in terms of the Senate president going to see the president. Earlier on during the show, we had looked at the video of the Congress, U.S. Congress, calling or chastising or grilling the head of Boeing. And what we commended was accountability. How can we have accountability in a country where the Senate and the executive, they are frolicking? Any small holiday, they are coming to visit and pay homage. And at what point would they call in the executive to ask, why are we in this situation currently where people are hungry, where the chants and the shouts is being power? Instead, going to pay homage, go and visit your constituents and really understand how hungry people are so that you will stop making justifications for things that don't make sense, quite frankly. When we say make sacrifices, this message has come up a number of times. Can we see the political class start by making sacrifices as well? If the plane is not good enough, fly commercial. That's what I was saying.
The other day, Rufai also said that he should fly Air Peace.
No, he should. I don't know why he's not flying Air Peace. By now, he should
First
fly.
class.
He should have an agreement with Air Peace, like this South Africa is going to. It will even be good because when he lands South Africa with Air Peace, he will tell the South African president, I say, see you. I came with my own national, airline company. They are doing very well, flying them. They come to South Africa. But let's set a record straight. Let's even put a cost to this analogy. How much do they need for these airplanes? I just checked the price of a Falcon. If you want to have a Dassault Falcon, will set you back $35 to $58 million. This is 737, or 747 series, 400. The older model will set you back $50 to $60 million. If you want two, it's going to be going to over $100 million. But this was the same government that spent $21 billion recently to finish home of a vice president. This was the same government that spent $90 billion on hard travel. Mr. Onanuga, which is inactivity, is now mocking the Malawian vice president that died by making a false allusion. Also mocking the Iranians. The reason why the crash happened was because it was an old Bell helicopter and there are sanctions by America to Iran. You can't go fix the plane. We take our plane for turnaround maintenance every time. So it's a false allusion. So you now mocking these people when we are stating the matter of fact, dear Mr. Ononuka, there's no big deal in the president flying Air Peace, or flying Max Air, or flying other local airlines. In fact, it will even bring more money to our local civil aviation industry. If airlines know that the president will fly them, maybe they will not delay people and they will not waste our time. And it's the pride of our country. The president of Kenya, like you said rightly, flew back from Switzerland in a commercial Kenya airline.
Even president of the Prime Minister of UK flies British Airways.
British Airways,
yes.
out of Argentina. So please, for the love of men, let's stop playing on sensitivity of people.
Just to add a footnote, the fleet was assessed, and the Air Force and the committee in the House of Reps both said those aircraft have become non-serviceable. Now, what do they do with those aircraft? Would they sell them, perhaps, and use part of the money to buy a new aircraft? The fundamental principle is that the safety of the president and the VP is important, just as the safety of every citizen is important.
100%.
Where do you find the balance?
The truth about it is that when Bola Ahmed Tinubu were campaigning, like I said in the beginning of this video, a lot of us were thinking, oh, you know, he transformed Lagos. Emi Lokon is so rich. He makes a lot of money from Lagos and the way he privatized everything that he built in Lagos, from toll gate, from all of that. He has money. What did he need money from anymore? This man, within the space of 1 year in office, what this man have took from Nigeria Treasury, Buhari, which we classify as the worst president in the entire federation, did not and was unable to take it in 8 years. What Buhari took in 8 years, this man took it in 1 year. He has been taking. For a whole president to think of buying a new private jet in a state of economic crisis, that president means nowhere for his country. This same president took 90 billion, 90 like this, for mostly Hajj. Oh, they mostly will go to Saudi Arabia to pray just for transport. 90 billion. Forget about the 7 billion for his wife office. Forget about almost 12 billion for the vice president house. Forget about the other billions that he took for 2019 palliative. This man have been taking and taking and taking and taking, never give. For those of you that said, oh, he's not up to 1 year in office. He's now 1 year, 1 month in office. But yet nothing, zero achievement. 0.0000 achievement. 1 year, 1 month. Now is left with 2 years and 11 months is left now. Now, he never do anything. Everything is just zero. He makes the jar of Nigeria in two. Before Buhari, Nigeria's jar to success was in 3. Buhari take it to 2. But this might just half the Asian of Nigeria. Nothing is working, no economy, nothing.
For me, that was part of my comments today because you said I tweeted today. The question is, the fundamental question to ask today is to ask, are we truly democratic? Unexamined life is not worth living. You must at any step try to examine what we are doing. After 25 years of experimenting and trying to be a democratic country, it is now time to ask questions. Are we truly democratic? And you start by defining what it's supposed to be. Democracy is supposed to be government of the people, by the people, for the people. So the fundamental question, is this government of the people? Is it by the people? And is it for the people? Beneath this is supposed to be a benefit for the people, which is not there today. Absence of which have led to leadership failure over the years that brought massive corruption, hunger, sufferings, all sorts of pain, insecurity, everything. So the opposite is what we've experienced. What we should actually be celebrating is that some sort of state capture, where those who have captured it have cornered all the benefits that are meant for the people, all the people are supposed to see in terms of good education, good health, and pulling them out of poverty have been cornered by the few that have captured the system. And they continue at the suffering at the expense of all. And the list is endless. You can go there and see the measure of democracy. We are 4.23, which shows we're low. You look at the hunger index, we're 109 over 124 countries measured, which shows we're low. You look at corruption index, we're 145 over 180 countries, which shows we're low. You look at law and order, which is supposed to be an intangible asset that drives democracy. We're very low. We're 120 over countries measured. So you could see we're low in every facet. If you compare even the electioneering process that brings our leaders into office, again, we're very low. Let's just take the recent 3 elections in comparable countries of South Africa, India, Mexico. In all these 3 countries, first is that over 60% of registered voters participated in voting. Polling booths opened, over 80% opened on time and closed on time without incidents, no ballot snatching, no this and everything. And results were transmitted electronically without any hitches, no glitches, nothing.
Well, there was a slight hitch in the South African transmission, but not to the degree.
No,
that
it
we
didn't
had in
affect the
Nigeria.
result because every party accepted it. It was a very minor thing. I watched it sitting down in my own sitting room from beginning to the end. India, that was supposed to have over, the people that voted in India are 3 times the Nigerian population. Yet you could see it. The election was accepted. In our own case, less than 25% of the voters participated.
And indeed, those who came out, many of them were prevented from
Thank
voting.
you. At the polling booths, did not open on time, closed late, closed early, with all sorts of fraud and everything. And when you think about it, in these countries that I mentioned, these were carried out by ordinary citizens. In our own case, despite all this fraud, glitches, everything, it was being executed by professors. So there must be something we need to re-examine and ask ourselves question, how do we get it right? For our children, for the future generation, we can't continue on this path.
What do you guys think about the new private jet Nigeria president just bought in a state of economical dichotomy, in a country where there is no food, where there are food scarcity? What do you think about him buying a new private jet? He said this is one. They are buying 2. They are planning to buy 2. They just bought one. And now, like what Rafael Seni asked, what will happen to the other one? Are they going to sell it? We don't know. We don't know. That's why we are making this video, to ask. Aside that now, of what impact will this jet make to Nigeria, which is 2. Now, I'm asking those that voted for him, when I say he never complete 1 year, he just complete 1 year, how many years do we need to wait more before he start working? Because for the now, this man just feed his tummy, and they have not done a single thing. If you think as a supporter that you have done something that we did not know, please just comment it in the comment section. Let's argue. I want to know. Maybe because I'm not that learned enough to know some easy things that they have done that is not yet made public. Please enlighten us in the comment section that he did this, just that we are not aware. You have done this, maybe we are not aware. Please comment it. And for the good people of Nigeria, when God will bless, what are your thoughts about this private jet? What do you think about what Peter Obi said? I want you guys to digest this whole topic and comment your thoughts in the comment section. Remember, we love you. God love you more. If you love us, the only way you can show your love is to like this video, comment your thoughts about this video, subscribe. It's the only way you can show your love to us. Subscribe. If you do, please turn on your notification bell so that you wouldn't miss out. If you not turn it on, if you post video, you know go get notification. Say, plan B don't post to, I need to go watch. Please turn on your notification bell so that you wouldn't miss out on future upposts. Until we meet again, peace out.
Well, I've never made comment about 1 year in office. The reason why is simple. I would say that President Tinubu have kept to his campaign promises. Throughout the campaign, he consistently maintained that he will continue from where Buhari stopped. And that is done very well. I would say excellent. I'll give him excellent pass mark. And it's very simple. Dollar was 460, is now 1,005. Fuel was 238, is now about 700. Diesel was 844, is now 1,415. A bag of rice is 35,000, is now about 80. A bag of beans was similar, 35, is now about 90. Gari was 27.28, is now 49.50. A tuber of yam was about 2,007 to 3,000, now is about 10,000. Tomato baskets is about 40,000, that is over 150,000. Electricity is 66 kilowatts, is now over 200. You can go on and on. Our debts, even bread, which is a basic thing other countries that subside, like Egypt, bread, smaller, medium bread was 450 naira. It's not 900 naira. The big one is 900, is 1,005. Our debt, like I mentioned, was 87. By end of last year, it was actually 97. The highest we've done within that short period. Now is over 100 trillion. In fact, this year alone, the government, through the Central Bank of Nigeria, have issued and taken from the system borrowing of over 16 trillion naira. You can imagine the interest at almost 20%. It's about 3.2 trillion after 12 months. At that, last year, in a period of 9 months, we spent about 5.7 trillion servicing as debt interest on our payments. So add that. So overall, you've done well. Let's even go back to the overall of the economy. By the time he took over last year, we were still the biggest economy in Africa with $477 billion as our GDP, followed by South Africa, Egypt, Algeria, and Morocco. Today, we are number 4. South Africa is number 1 now, I think about $373 billion. Egypt is second, $347 billion, followed by Algeria, 266. And we are now 252 billion GDP economy. It's even worse when you go to our per capita. We are actually 1/4 of per capita of the list of these nations that I mentioned. South Africa is over 6,000 per capita. Egypt is 4,000 plus. So is Algeria. And then Morocco, which among this is supposed to be the 5th, at 4,210, and we are 1,000 plus. So we actually have gone low. We're coming from a low of per capita of 3,000 plus in 2014. So we've Every other thing have headed south. You see, insecurity is worsened.
Well, let's
corruption has worsened.
right. Let's
Adherence to the rule of law has worsened. The country has been nepotism is that.
I love you guys. I love you guys. Please subscribe. Take me to 100,000. I'm almost there. Takes you nothing. Just beam. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need 9,000 subscribers right now to get to 100,000 subscribers. Please, guys, make it happen. I love you. Until we meet again. Peace out.